All right, folks. Today is Tuesday, September 24th, 2019. You're looking at the close for the stock markets. Today was a slaughter day in the stock markets. So I kind of had a feeling yesterday that we should have switched to Putnam. A lot of times I'm at least one day off, but I'm even kicking myself now. It's something that you just learn from. You learn to deal with it. Just always be comfortable with your risk before you go in and just own it. If you did good, own it. If you make a mistake, own it. But more importantly, learn from the mistakes that you made. Everything was looking good. But, from time to time you get some surprises. No big deal. We'll make it up soon enough. So, with that being said, the Dow was down 0.5%. I sure wish we were in the Dow, but we weren't. S&P 500 was down 0.84%. NASDAQ was down 1.5%. And the Russell 2000 was down almost 1.75%. And since we were 25% Harbor Capital, that's closer to the NASDAQ. And we were 75% small caps. So we took a pretty good beating today. So we went from a 14.45% return down to a 12.6% return. So we lost almost 2 percentage points. But we're hoping to make that up in the next week or so. So we're just going to own it. So, and move forward. That way we don't dwell on it too long. Let's look at some charts. Okay, we'll start off with the Dow Jones. You see the 20-day moving average is still above the 50-day moving average. And today we came and we tested the 20-day moving average. So we closed above the 20-day moving average. Good news for the Dow. Let's look at SPY, which is the S&P 500. S&P 500, it passed the 20-day moving average. It touched the 50-day moving average and closed above the 50-day moving average. So that's still a good sign for SPY. If it starts closing below the 50-day moving average, it's probably going to go down to its 100-day moving average. So that's something we need to keep our eye on. Let's look at QQQ, which is NASDAQ. NASDAQ actually closed below its 20-day, below its 50-day. If it goes any further down, it's going to hit its 100-day moving average. If it keeps going below that, it's going to hit its 200-day moving average. So that's one thing we really got to keep an eye on is the NASDAQ. Let's look at IWM, which is small caps. Small caps came down. It actually rested on its 20-day moving average, but it did come down to test its 50-day moving average. And it closed about on the 20-day moving average. So what we're really hoping for is that the small caps, IWM, we're hoping that it bounces off of this 20-day moving average and then goes up so that the other markets can make new all-time highs in the next week or so. So that's our hopes. When we sent the text out to our folks so they don't lose too much in case there's a lot of volatility tomorrow or Thursday or Friday. We sent out that we were moving to 100% Putnam stable value. And then after we looked at the charts and we saw a little bit of retracement, we decided to stay in 100% small caps. So that's the risk we decided to take. We didn't want everybody else losing a lot of money. We don't think there's going to be a larger than a 1% move tomorrow. to the upside. Now, it could be a larger move to the downside, but we don't think there's going to be larger than a 1% move to the upside. So we wanted everybody's portfolios to be protected until we can figure out which way the market is going. That's why we moved to 100% Putnam stable value for everybody in the group text. But for our own portfolio, we decided to stay with 100% small caps. That's the risk we're willing to take. We're willing to risk another 2 to 3% for tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Comment on the videos. Like the videos. When you watch the videos, please watch the videos all the way. We're trying to get our viewing time up. We're still not focusing on grabbing a lot of subscribers. We're mostly just focusing on our technique. And we're learning as we can. Remember, we're trying to combine day trading and long-term trading into a 401k plan to maximize it. So there's nobody that I know of that's actually doing what we do. And basically, we got to be a couple of days ahead of the market in order to really make it successful. So a lot of times when we take our trades, when we decide, any little bit of news can throw that off. So we could have been right, but if news comes out, like somebody's trying to impeach Trump or something like that, that will mess us up for like the next day or maybe even the next couple of days, even if we were right based off of what we were seeing in the charts. So just keep that in mind. There are very few people. I don't know of any person who's doing exactly what we're trying to do. So we don't really have a person to model off of. We're like the pioneers for it in this environment. So thank you for being patient. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Later.